Part I, the one slot box, starts out with I1 and 2 joined together. Going through one I3. Now you can actually let it dry at this point, which makes the rest a little bit easier, or if you're bold, you can continue on. Just going to add glue to I3 and the outer part of I1 where there's a protrusion, and join that to an I4 on both sides. And making sure there isn't too much of a shift, I'm going to add glue to the top of the I4s and follow it with an I3. Place it on its side, and I'm going to add 4 dabs of glue to the I5 where the tabs fall into the slots, and slide it in, flip it, and add glue to the tabs on I5 and repeat. And make sure you didn't unseat I1 and I2 from the base. You can pull it back through from I3 if you did.
Okay, next we have our
two slot box, part J,
so
J1 and J2.
Started with 2 of the J1,
J2,
2J3, 2J3,
2J4, and J5.
2J5. So I'm going to start out attaching the
I'm going to start by adding glue to J2 and slide both J1s down.
We're going to take this assembly.
I'm going to take a J3 and do a strip of glue in the center.
On the center of the J3.
Slide the original assembly down
slide it all
through the T slots. Make sure everything is seated all the way.
Tight when it's done. Because this is going to be the part that goes into the hex. So if you have any glue overruns here, just make sure to wipe that off.
Then on the sides,
we're going to get a little bit of glue on here.
Going to add glue and add a little bit of glue to
J4
the protrusion on J1. Will help keep it in place.
Which will slide.
And we're going to add.
Let's also hopefully get some glue on the side here to connect the main part.
J4 to both sides.
So J4. J4.
Once both J4s are in place, we're going to add glue to either side of the tabs.
J3. You can do the ends first, but I think it's a little easier to assemble.
And add another J3.
Before you do the ends.
And tip the assembly on its side. And
then we're going to
add glue to the tabs
here on J5.
Of J5. Make sure everything is seated.
Slide that in. And slide that in. J5. Make sure there's
that in. Make sure everything is tight. Do a quick wipe of any glue that comes out.
And if this falls in,
you can see I actually knocked
pull the pieces out. Make sure that
J1 and J2 in, but if I hold J3,
on the side, pull that through.
I can actually pull it back out and make sure it sits and dries.
Tacky enough to hold.
These dry easiest on their sides with
hold the piece here, pull it back out.
Tabs that protrude sticking out.
Get it where it needs to be, no big deal.
If you let them dry,
and let it dry
upside down, gravity can pull the tabs in, so it's best to leave them on their side.
3-slot box. So
our 3-slot box
K1
starts with K1, K2, K3,
K3s,
K4,
and 2 K5s.
And K5
so
assembly
just like the 2 box
is the same as the 2-slot, and it's just
run 1,
longer.
2, 3 here.
So again, glue into K2, add in 3 K1s.
Okay. And we're going to take
and we're going to add glue
K3
to the center of
the
K3
glue in the center there.
and drop the original assembly through the
A little
two
more than I
slots.
needed, but it's not going to be in view, so at the end of the world. Okay.
Okay, I'm going
Put
to
the
add glue to the
insides
sides.
here for a little bit of
Also, it's
bracing,
helpful to
and
make
the
sure that a
outsides
little
here.
bit of glue gets onto the protrusion on K1.
Okay, and in
And then we're going to
our
slot in
fours.
both of the K4s.
Better looking side on the outside. And that back in. Back to the 3. So I'm just gonna add my glue there. A little too much. These ones are the most finicky.
And then add another K3 to the
so
top.
that they can slot together from multiple angles.
It's a little bit easier to
We're gonna
keep holding
do
onto the
our
structure
end
instead of
pieces.
setting it down.
So 1, 2, 3.
And finally, we're going to add glue to the tabs on K5 on all 4 tabs, slot it in.
And 1, 2, 3.
Add glue to the tabs on the other K5, flip it, and make sure that those seat in place and everything sits well together.
Sure I don't
Wipe
have
off any glue overruns
excess.
and
I wanna make
ensure
sure
that
these
all
are
of your
sitting flush the way that they should. The
mounting
bottom piece
tabs
before that dries.
are pulled all the way through by grasping
Stick
K3.
that there. And
Again,
that is
these dry
our
better on their
3-slot
side.
box.